Coming up on Spartan Sports Report.
Men's basketball took on 2 conference opponents this past week.
Michigan State hockey took on Michigan in a home-and-home series.
And the women's basketball team hosted a pair of Big Ten opponents.
Welcome into the first Spartan Sports Report of the new year. I'm AJ Evans.
And I'm Yusuf Anaya. AJ, we had so much going on while we were gone. It's only right we get right back into it with some men's basketball.
Last Thursday, the Michigan State men's basketball team took on Minnesota at the Breslin Center. Here's Malik Hall opening things up for the Spartans, getting 2 of his 16 points to start this one. Later on in the half, Tyson Walker can't get the layup to go, but AJ Hogard is there for the putback slam. He finished with 8 points and a game-high 7 assists. Minnesota refused to go away, though, cutting MSU's lead to 5 going into the break. But Malik Hall had other plans. Here he is getting his 1,000th career point. Second player to do that on this roster this season alongside Tyson Walker. And here he is again on the backdoor cut, getting the emphatic slam, bringing the Breslin Center to its feet. And later on in the game, graduate guard Tyson Walker did what he does best, going on a run, carrying MSU. 10-point solo run for him. He finished with 21. MSU defeated Minnesota 76-66. On Sunday, Michigan State traveled to Maryland to take on the Terrapins. After going into halftime with a 12-point lead, the Spartans stumbled in the early stages of the second half, with Maryland going up by 3 with just over 6 minutes to go. A late three-pointer from graduate guard Tyson Walker and a forced turnover from sophomore Trey Holloman sealed the game for the Spartans, with MSU winning 61-59 and getting their 5th consecutive win against Maryland. The Spartans are now 12-7 on the season and 4-4 in conference play. MSU will stay on the road and take on number 13 ranked Wisconsin this Friday at 8 p.m.
This weekend, the number 7th ranked Michigan State hockey team had a home-and-home series against rival number 15th ranked Michigan, starting out with a big one in East Lansing, with that crowd being as loud as I've heard it for Trey Augustine, as the rivals had different plans, with Rutger McGroarty putting the Wolverines up 1-0 early in this one to take the air out the crowd. And they would continue to pour it on as Keenan Draper puts on a nice move to slide it past Augustine's 5-hole to put the Wolverines up 3-0. But the Spartans were determined to get one in before this one was over, as alternate captain Nico Mueller puts one in. But as you can see, a late hit causes quite the scrum to ensue, as Artie Levshunov and Jeremy Davidson both got kicked out in this one, which resulted in a total of 30 penalties in the third period alone, AJ. This ended a 6-game winning streak for MSU with a final of 7-1. But the Spartans headed to Ann Arbor looking for some redemption. The Wolverines had plans of their own, unfortunately, as TJ Hughes got them on the board halfway through the first period. But Artie Levshunov got one past Barczewski to tie this one up just before the period ended. And TJ Hughes back on the scoring sheet as he gets a second one off a 2-on-1, a nice shot from him. And then Rutger McGroarty, captain of the World Junior Championships team, who was teammates with Trey Augustine, puts 2 past him, which made this one 4-1 and had the Spartans scratching their head. But here's Isaac Howard streaking down the right side, putting it above Barczewski's left shoulder, and then Nico Mueller does the same thing to put the Spartans within 1. And then Gavin O'Connell, Johnny on the spot, ties it up for the Spartans, which was a huge goal for them. And then now in the third period, he's assistant alternate captain Nico Mueller sliding it to Jeremy Davidson, who puts it up past that left shoulder, which got those monsters going absolutely crazy at Yost. And then one more from Nico Mueller off a nice backhand would put the stamp on this for the Spartans, as they would walk away with a 7-5 victory for their first win at Yost since 2019.
It's actually really hard to still stay positive and everything, but as I just said, I think the biggest thing is to believe in our hockey the Spartan way, and that's what we did, I think.
Michigan State bumped down to number 8 in the USCHO rankings and will take on the number 9 ranked Minnesota Gophers this Friday and Saturday at Munn Ice Arena in East Lansing.
Michigan State women's basketball hosted the Northwestern Wildcats at the Breslin Center last Wednesday. MSU started out strong, outscoring Northwestern 21-11 in the first quarter. The Spartans recorded 26 assists against the Wildcats, making this the seventh game of the season with 20 or more dimes. Junior guard Edie Hageman led the way. She had 8 assists. Here she is dishing to Lauren Ross, who knocks down the triple. And with just a few seconds left in the first half, sophomore Theron Hallett connects on a corner 3, just getting it off in time and getting the shooter's roll. She contributed 15 points off the bench. MSU had 6 players in double figures and won handedly, 91-72. On Saturday, the Spartans went on the road to Minnesota, where they lost 69-50. MSU is now 13-5 and 3-4 in the Big Ten. The Spartans will be back at the Breslin Center next Wednesday to take on Purdue at 6:30.
Coming off a loss to the number 13th ranked Michigan Wolverines, the Michigan State wrestling team headed back to East Lansing to take on number 14th ranked Rutgers and top ranked Penn State. Starting off with the Scarlet Knights on Friday, Rutgers got off to quite the hot start, winning the first 2 matches, but it would be the 33rd ranked Jordan Hamden who earned the Spartans their first victory of the night at 141 pounds. Michigan State would go on to earn 3 more wins on the night, coming from Chase Saldante, Caleb Fish, and Lane Malcheski. But Rutgers would remain on top, defeating the Spartans 22-13. Continuing their homestand, Michigan State welcomed the reigning national champion Penn State Nittany Lions to Jennison Fieldhouse on Sunday. Penn State dominated from start to finish, blanking Michigan State 35-0. Despite the commanding showing from the Nittany Lions, none of the matches ended with a pin. A strong performance came from the 21st ranked Chase Saldante, who against the number 1 ranked Levi Haynes went all the way to the 7th period, but ultimately Haynes won that match for Penn State with a score of 7-6. After the tough weekend, the Spartans will take on another ranked opponent, taking on number 22 ranked Wisconsin on Friday in East Lansing.
The Michigan State gymnastics team traveled to University Park, Pennsylvania this past weekend to take on Penn State for their first Big Ten matchup of the year. Michigan State defeated Penn State, handing the Nittany Lions their first loss of the season with a final score of 197.47 to 195.95. MSU is now 4-3. Skylar Schulte for Michigan State had a season-high score of 39.6, as well as a 9.9 score on the bars, 9.95 on beam, and a 9.9 on floor. Through 3 weeks, MSU holds its highest score in program history. The Spartans look to host their first conference home meet against Iowa this Sunday.
Michigan State men's tennis began their season with a doubleheader, starting off going against in-season rival Western Michigan on Friday. Here's the Spartans getting hyped up for the first leg of their doubleheader. First in doubles, it's Aristoteles Thanos hitting a cross-court shot for the point. Him and Taim Alzama would win the match. And in singles, Alesme scores a strong point against his opponent and gets his first career victory. Now Ronald Homan III, who came in ranked 12th in the country, notched his first win in a 3-set tiebreak. This propelled the team to a 6-1 victory against Western Michigan. Now in the second match against Brown, we saw even more impressive performances from the Spartans. After a loss in his first singles match, Thanos came back here with this powerful serve, which helped him pull off his first collegiate singles win. In the final match of the night, here's Sebastian Collard securing his second singles win here. And for the first time in program history, Michigan State has brought out the brooms and swept Brown 7-0. Michigan State will head to California to play UC Santa Barbara and Pepperdine this weekend.
Michigan State track and field traveled to Ann Arbor for the 2024 Simmons-Harvey Invitational on Saturday. MSU recorded 7 second-place finishes along with 1 event win, which came on the back of Logan Allen's 60-meter hurdle time of 8.02 seconds. The men's team ended up placing 3rd, and the women's team placed 4th. A combined 14 different Spartans notched personal records at the event. And next week, MSU's team will split up between meets for the Lenny Lyles Invite in Louisville and the Michigan Invite back in Ann Arbor.
That's all the time we have on today's edition of Spartan Sports Report.
Thank you for tuning in to our first show of the semester. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media handles below. I'm AJ Evans.
And I'm Yusuf Anaya. We will see you guys next week.